Yeah, let's look at this. So I've called this is what stupid looks like in year one of spraying, chemically nuking the ground. Like, could you speak to that?
Well, it's a bank that we see on the way home, and it's like they came out and nuked it, and when nuked it is nuked it. They nuked it, and no grass in it, no nothing, and it's non-productive. So you pay to make it even less productive.
I mean, you pay to make it unproductive. You then get a year or more of unproductiveness, and then you've also created a future problem because now you've got an imbalance in the soil for when it is maybe productive, right?
Well, you had to change the soil to start with, and like I would have just wouldn't have let it get quite this far. But our mantra these days is like find out what's wrong with the soil and bomb it a couple of years, and then do your destructive on the gorse, whether that's scrub bar or whatever, using cattle and everything, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, it's clean.
Just to clarify, find out what's wrong with the soil and bomb it for a couple of years
Yeah.
with all the good stuff.
Yeah, with all the stuff that you need. Yeah.
Yeah. And this one's taken, let me see, a year later, and it's still somewhat unproductive.
Yeah, well, pine trees are growing again.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's about the guts of it.
Now, this is the same bit of land that you pass by and you've noticed where they've done this. I know it's not an exact matching shot, but...
No, it's the same piece of ground, and it's just the pine trees are starting to come up now. And so
yeah,
it's just you pay, from what I can make out, you might pay about the same amount of money for the sprays and the chemicals as you would to put the brew on.
Right.
And so,
except that you have productive land during that time.
That's right. It just starts
Sorry, it's steal your thunder.
No, that's cool. And you keep improving it and you keep getting higher production. At least you're getting paid back. And it's not, if you look at it, that even if it was only doing 1.5 animals per hectare, not 2.5, which is a prime piece of ground or whatever, even at 1.5 hectares at the moment, you're going to return the money that you put into it. That you're going to get it back at least. Okay. So if you just say, well, there's 20 hectares there, and I need to clean that up. Even if you say, well, it's a wipeout, if I spray it, it's not going to be productive. But if you go, well, even if I take every productive cent that I get off that 20 hectares and re-put it back into soil fertility and end up with beautiful grasses and I got no crappy gorse, it's a great investment.
Yeah, I couldn't put it better. I mean, it's the best way to utilize it whilst you're trying to get it to be in the condition you want it to be in.
Absolutely. Well, the value of the land just goes up. Okay.
Right.
Your productive value now, because it will get to the stage, like I can sound that rough part of ours, it'll get to 2.5 beasts to the hectare and it'll pay very well.
Mm.
And we're already getting that payback in the wintertime. That's my, I know how many days it was when we first started doing this and how many days it is now and how many cattle are in the mob. And I see them come out of there and go, wow, that's cool. And like this last winter, they just kept on pushing and shoving and pushing and shoving. And, it gets easier and easier to cut the gorse and all of a sudden it's just, oh, look, it's clean.
Yeah. So in that example, I'm just going to go to they haven't seen the screen yet, Ewan. You're referring to number 5 there. Get the animals doing the backbreaking work, right?
Absolutely. They love it.
Do you want to go through that now that it's up on to look at? We've got, for those listening at home, low cost from weeds to production. There's 6 key steps we've outlined here. Do you want to start with number 1?
Get a soil test. And I mean, not just a 5-bar thing, get a 15-element test. We need to know what the aluminium is. We need to know the total calcium. We need to know all of those things. It's the cheapest thing you'll ever do because once you have that information, you go, okay, here's my limiting factors. And then you can match that against your budget, your outcomes, and you can actually cost everything. You can actually go, I've got 30 hectares, it's worth nothing at the moment or patheticness. And then if I get that clean in 5 years' time and I work on a budget to this process, you can actually calculate your input costs, your output, what you're going to get out of it.
Mm.
You know exactly what you're going to do.
Well, you've just smashed through the first 3 steps: test, assess limiting factors, and budget.
Absolutely.
What are you really saying about the budget, though? Like, I mean, everyone's maybe got a fixed budget or...
They've only got so much to spend, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, but you got to know what your outcome's going to be. So you go and look at somebody that's done this, like what we've done, and go, okay, if I can get my shitty ground that I've only got 1 stock one beast or 5 stock units per hectare, and I can get that to double, and that's going to cost me X amount of money, and then my capital value of that land is this at the end of it, and you can look at the, it's a calculation. I mean, a lot of people buy houses, investments.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you've got a piece of land and you want to make an investment, and guess what? It's tax deductible, it's got an input cost, and what it is, it's future-proofing your income. So, like, if you've got a few good years, we were out in the beef cattle at the moment, like $9 a kilo, something like that, and it falls back to 6 or 5 or 7 or whatever, and you fixed this in the time that you had the money.
Smart.
Okay.
Because you're thinking ahead.
That's right. You don't have the gorse to worry about coming back when you don't have the money.
Yeah.
You now are productive.
Yeah.
So it's a complete change in your head. Because
it's proactive, not reactive.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's using that money constructively. And this is what I keep telling people. Constructive money doesn't kill anything.
That's wow. Because destructive money, which is killing weeds,
fungicide, herbicide.
Yeah.
Like every time you kill something, you think, oh, this is good. I'll kill this off and I'll put a crop and I'll grow more. You've actually gone backwards.
Never thought about it like that before. Constructive money and destructive money. That's really interesting.
Yeah, and this is what happens with farming today, is that we have these good years and we don't put it towards productive. Like we get this, we hear people about capital FERT and things like that. First of all, did they test?
Probably not.
Okay, so how do you know you were going to have constructive money if you didn't test to know what you needed to construct what you needed? Okay, so these are the things that are back to front in our thinking. It's like when there's money about, just at the moment, the dairy guys have got lots of money, they buy feed, they do this, they do that. They don't fix their soil for when there's no money about.
The next one up there is apply.
Well, that's
pretty straightforward, right?
Well, yes, in our situation, we got 70% of the farm I can get around with a spreader. The other 30% is plane or helicopter, and so it's a bit of a pain in the ass. So it does take a bit of planning. So there should be budget planning apply.
Okay.
Planning in your head. How do you get people here? How do you get product on, and how do you do that sort of stuff? And then after you've done that, then you go, how am I going to work the cattle and that to do the work for me? People go, I don't want to walk up there with an electric fence. How much work are you saving by putting an electric fence up in the right place and letting the animals trample all the shit out of everything?
Yeah.
Instead of just leaving them walk over a paddock for a couple of days or 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Like when they get in there and they've got lots of grass on one day, they just get in and push and shove and knock it all down. And there's a heap of less work than you going back with the scrub bar or the spraying or anything else, just because you put electric fence up.
And then the last one, dead grass scrub bar.
Yeah, just things that
one of those is a product you sell.
Yeah.
Future Ewan here, just reviewing the tapes and got a back pedal. We've changed the name of dead grass to eco weed. So don't get confused. Whenever I speak about dead grass, I'm actually talking about eco weed. Well, eco weed control, but it'll be eco weed.
Oh yeah.
That's what everyone will hear it to be. And so, hey, if you talk about dead grass or eco weed, you'll know it's the same product.
And even the dead grass is I don't even recommend it that much. The scrub bar is great. Dead grass is really good on gorse, more gorse, up to 2 feet high. Just if you got a plant here and a plant there that's coming out of a bank after you've done this, really good for touching up and just tidying it up.